Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nickens back with another video. Another recapping the Wildcats versus the Mallards. If you guys are liking these series, liking the content, a lot more stuff coming out from me. It'll continue to be like that all summer. We'll see what happens in August, but make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into the recap of Wildcats versus Mallards. So if you haven't seen it, giving you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So the Wildcats swept the Mallards. Absolutely crazy. Couldn't believe the series. I thought the Wildcats were going to win, but I didn't think they were going to sweep. And it wasn't a like a dominant sweep. Obviously, a sweep is a sweep, but it wasn't like in the fashion that I thought it would be. I mean, every game was less than two runs or less, and it just seemed like the Wildcats had the deeper roster in this case for this time. Now, I will say we can go into all the details and look at a bunch of stuff, but there are definitely some moments that I felt like if we did it again, it may be different, and the Mallards may be coming out. I don't think this is a bad omen for the Mallards. I think they're going to be just fine. But I mean, it is really tough to get swept, and coming back from a sweep and still making the playoffs. We've seen it done. We've seen it done before, but it's tough. It's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the way. Even though the good news is that is an out of league opponent, so this could be really good for tiebreakers. But it's still really tough for them. What really happened to the Mallards is the Mallards would get up early and they would blow the lead. Jordan Robles did pitch well. But at the end of the day, he lost at the end on a walk-off. And the Wildcats were able to put their bats onto the ball more. Every single person in Game 1 got a hit. Kyle, of course, let up a couple of runs early, but stayed consistent, played really well, struck out 7 guys, and was able to keep his team into the game, late into the game. And I think that really, really turned it around. A 2-out rally. Robles has just really got to close. I don't think he would put any excuses on himself, and I don't think I'm going to make any excuses for him. I think that's really tough. Now, I'm pretty sure in Game 1, Caden Irwin got robbed of a home run, and I think that would have really put more momentum towards the Mallards side, so I'm not going to sit here and berate the Mallards for that Game 1 loss, even though they did blow that lead, because there are definitely some things that went against them that should have went the other way. But, I mean, you can't do anything about that, really. Now, in the next game, we had much of the similar, where the Wildcats were still really dominant from the hitting perspective. 6 hits on the game again, where the Mallards only had 1. Jackson Pearson looked really good on the bump. 6 walks, but 4 of those walks for Robles. And I think if you're going to walk somebody 4 times on the Mallards, I'd probably rather you have Robles walked 4 times. No, nothing against Tommy, but as you'll see later, Jordan Robles hit an absolute rope to left. On the other side, Liam Jackson had 3 of the 6 hits for the Wildcats. He didn't play in Game 3, which was a shame. Probably one of the managerial decisions where Kyle was like, hey, you'll play Game 2, and we'll give it the Game 3 no matter what to to Ty. And that's probably why it went. But 3 hits, only a ribby, and Liam Jackson is back. I think that's huge for him. Huge confidence booster. Vintage Liam Jackson, 2021 Liam. Absolutely love it. And the rest of the guys, Jackson did really well on the plate. Not super well hitting, but he did his job. Nick had a hit, and Kyle had 2 hits, 5 at-bats. So I think overall, I mean, really, really impressive, a Wildcats-esque game, and I feel kind of like, maybe Caden was still feeling a little flustered from Game 1. Only had a couple of walks, didn't hit. Matt Carlington went 0-4. Tommy only went 1-4. I mean, Jordan Robles getting on base, but he was getting stranded. So you got to be able to bat in those runs. Game 3 was really exciting. The Mallards came out and absolutely just saw Kyle right from the get-go. Jordan hit a rope to left, looked really solid, and then the rest of the guys, they really put a hurt on the Wildcats early. Couple of hits and a couple of walks, and it looked really like a struggle for Kyle. 4 earned runs and 3 walks, 3 Ks. So, was able to strike people out, but it did not go well. And then, again, the Wildcats came out to bat. Nick Saylor had 2 home runs in the game. Kyle had a home run. Jackson had a home run. Ty Smith, unfortunately, went 0 for 4. And that really doesn't look good in comparison to Liam, who is now leading the league in average only after 1 game. And Jordan just slowly kind of, with not a huge arsenal, the Wildcats were able to see him really well, and just 1 home run at a time, they were able to get to the game back. And Caden comes in to try and get him out of a jam and can't do it in extras. And it's just a really disappointing game for the Mallards, because they're really, maybe a few pitches, a couple hits away from, taking this game. But they had a huge cushion and they couldn't close. I mean, that's really all it is. And so if you're a Mallards fan, you're kind of going back to the drawing boards. This is a tough series. Wildcats are probably going to be a favorite for the rest of the year, 5-1, and they're 3 games away from the 3 games away from the All-Star break. And they're looking like, very easily could take the AL. And if you're a Mallards fan, 2-4 is a tough. Not going to be bad going into the NL schedule. But you definitely don't want to be playing from behind. And the Gators are playing the Cobras, and that's going to be a very close series. The Eagles are playing the Preds, which could go either way. So you're looking towards the Eagles, maybe as somebody you could kind of jump rope over. And the D-backs look so strong. So currently you're really hoping that the Eagles get swept as well if you're a Mallards fan. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And speaking of Cobras Gators, that is our next game that we're covering. Drew Davis is there, so it's going to be a good game. Gators, all right, game 1. Cobras, looking at how the Wildcats played, looking pretty solid, to be honest. So I'm expecting a Cobras 2-1 series win. I think it'll be a very interesting game for sure. I'm very interested to see if Reese Harris gets any playing time. I want to see if he's going to get some time. Are the Gators going to get the bats going this time? Also a good question. They came out really hot game 1 against the Magic and, couldn't really figure out the bats afterwards. So, and you're playing Brendan, you're playing Sawyer. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The Cobras can definitely pitch. And the Gators are great pitchers. But if they can't get the bats going, like the Cobras have a little more consistency from the plate. So I'm looking for a Cobras 2-1 win against the Gators. But, this is going to be definitely a question mark game for the Gators. They've got to be able to get more than 3 wins, obviously. And with a Mallards team that just got swept, it's time to leapfrog. It's time to be able to get ahead of them, and they need more than 1 win. That's for sure. So, yeah. Let me guys know what you guys think in the comments. Do you got Cobras winning? You got the Gators winning? Let me know. And we're going to move on to our League of the Week, which is going to be WR Wiffle Ball. Been watching these guys for a little while. I really enjoy their stuff. They're actually local to MLW in Brighton. This spring training video is actually at, of course, the Meadows. So if you are interested in checking these guys out, make sure you give them a subscription. Make sure you guys subscribe. And yeah, nasty screwball up the top makes the guy miss. Another nasty screwball, but that's a walk. Little bit off there. Riser no go. Did not lift up at all. So we got bases loaded with 2 outs. Slider's barely missing the top right. Slider's going to hit that time. And there we go. No runs allowed. And it's going to go into the second. Another slider looking nice. Oh, that drop ball must have dropped like 10 feet. It's disgusting, dude. Drop ball, going to drop ball again, but I mean, it still got close, and the sidearm drop is just so disgusting. Such a tough pitch to hit. Kind of almost like we're talking about the other day, like Dallas Allen's sidearm knuckleball. I mean, these guys can also pitch. If you couldn't tell, like these guys, really good pitchers, and so it's going to be tough for a lot of these guys to get some hips, but definitely going to be looking towards MLW in the future. These guys are local in high school, middle school, so these guys could definitely get drafted, as we see an absolute moonshot, huge, and that's a tough to. Yeah, Boots Swamp Donkey yeah, so tough. Yeah, I would be frustrated too. I mean, that's just what are you going to do about that? You coming into a bases loaded situation, and yeah, that happens. So here we go, another out, solid play. Going to the sky, 62, and all these guys are playing 70. Whew. So disgusting. They're playing 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. And so just a little under what MLW does. So all these guys are going to be following MLW rules. And they're young. They can, maybe not all of them are throwing 70, but they will be throwing 70 by the time they, hit their growth spurts, by the time they're getting up into the older ages. So definitely guys to keep a lookout on. I actually saw a couple of them at Wiffle in the Mitten, and these guys were really good, so definitely be looking out for WR. Got more spring training. Oh my gosh, got more spring trainings coming up. I can't even talk. There's just so much going on. So their season's going to be starting here soon. So if you like them, if you like what they're playing, like what they're seeing, make sure you hit a like, comment, let them know that you're from the channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.